Good evening, folks, and welcome to Garbage Theater's Hobbit Trilogy Special Part 2, The Desolation of Smaug. I'm your host, Chase, my co-host, Blake and John.
Hello.
It's Chown.
That's good.
It's the proper pronunciation.
Yeah. It's the way Tolkien intended.
Right.
Oh boy. Okay, let's not waste time because God knows.
Oh, yeah.
After part 1, the chance of going off on an hour-long tangent is high.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try to contain my I'm gonna try to keep it brief when I gotta say something.
Yeah. So,
though I was happy, I did get a couple DMs of people saying, "Holy shit, you really do know about Tolkien." I guess they thought it was like just me making shit up. I guess
it was just bluster, but no.
Yeah,
lives and breathes this shit.
And then also, it turns out that people think that I'm like the heel of the show, and John agrees with them. Like, this is news to me. I thought I was the lovable, fun one.
I was joking, but
yeah,
he must have already thought that.
The exact quote that John wrote was like, "Listen, we all know he's dog shit."
That is not what it said.
Everybody knows he's dog shit. Come on. Oh my god. Before our dynamic, I would say I've been listening to the Talking Sopranos podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's Michael Imperioli, who played Christopher, and I can't remember his name, who played Bobby Bacala.
Yeah,
they're going through episode by episode talking about the series. Listening to him, like they kind of have the same dynamic that we have, because it's like John's the Michael Imperioli, where he's dropping names and movie genres and obscure movies that we've never heard of, and right. Me and Blake are over here is probably just going, look at that dumb bitch over there.
Yep.
The pretentious one. as intended.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, but I digress.
Have that yin and yang,
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So, Desolation of Smaug. Here's where we start padding for time.
Definitely.
Oh, big time.
So much so that we have to do a flashback within a flashback, because
right.
So we open up back in Bree at the Prancing Pony. Thorin enters, sits, orders a dish of scraps, which I guess is on the menu. I'll have the scraps, please.
Scrap platter.
Yeah, and there's like the waitress is a hobbit.
Yeah. So hobbits did live in Bree.
Okay.
I don't think they mentioned that. Did they even go to Bree in the Hobbit book? I don't think they did.
No.
But definitely in the Lord of the Rings, when they're spending their time with Bree and they meet Strider and all that, there's a Hobbit guy that works at the bar.
Okay.
Or the pub. Sorry. So that's fine.
Because I know they make a point in Lord of the Rings that they say they don't often see hobbits around.
Yeah, but they work there because it's kind of like the inn owner's like second in command is a hobbit in the book. I forget his name; it escapes me. But he helped them like get around town and told them like he helped figure out who was like a spy and told them where to get some horses and all that.
There we go. So he sits down and there's shady characters in every corner eyeing him up.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like four guys all stroking their mustaches. Yeah.
Maybe we should stop meeting here.
Which Thorin would have never met. Like, there's no reason for Thorin to be at the Prancing Pony, by the way. Like, fucking zero. But anyway.
So, they all get up and they all start slowly moving towards him, and he's getting ready for a throwdown. And as that happens, Gandalf walks in, sits down at the table across from him, and diffuses the whole situation. And he says, "Thorin, you got to get that Arkenstone."
Mm-hmm.
Boy, listen.
So, hop to it.
Yeah, but Gandalf's playing like 3D chess right here to get him to do that, though. So,
yeah. Because he doesn't really give a shit about the Arkenstone. He just wants Smaug out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who, Gandalf?
Well, he doesn't want Smaug joining Sauron.
Exactly. So he figures if he can distract Smaug with the dwarves going back to Erebor, then the White Council can go try to take care of Sauron without them trying to help each other. Yeah.
But isn't this before they figure out Sauron's back?
They okay. God damn it. So the White Council knew that Sauron was there for like 90 years before The Hobbit takes place.
Okay, I'm going to say it. So why all the surprise?
Exactly. There shouldn't have been surprise. So I'm with you. But, let me put on my bifocals and say, in the Lord of the Rings appendices, it clearly states that they knew he was there, and it wouldn't have been a shock. They knew he was there. Matter of fact, they avoided it because they knew he was there. He wasn't at full power, and it's kind of one of those things, kind of like, let's figure out what he's trying to do first. And that's when Saruman finds out that he's only there to start looking for the ring, and Saruman's looking for the ring as well. And that's when he's kind of like, all right, well, maybe we should attack him in his weakened state to try to get rid of competition for the ring. That's what's going on there. There was no surprise. So I agree with you.
It was all for the movie, for drama.
Yeah. I said, let me go ahead.
Well, I had a question, but it might be the answer might be long. I don't finish what you're going for.
Oh God!
I was just gonna say, I want to reiterate like the last time. There are a lot of things that don't make sense from like the lore to go into this movie, but I still enjoyed the movie. But there are a lot of discrepancies, but it's still okay. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Like, my question was, what is Sauron?
Sauron is a...
Come, John.
Well, I don't know what he is. Like, he's just a powerful dude, but I don't know.
I'll give you the short answer.
I don't know what his deal is.
I'll give you the short answer. So, you have the Valar, who are, like, right under God. Eru Ilúvatar is God. Then you have all the Valar, and there's a whole bunch of them. Melkor, who became Morgoth when he went to Middle-earth, keep up, had a servant, Sauron, who had another name.
It's like going to Ellis Island. They changed your name.
Yeah. So Sauron was his servant, even when he was in the Undying Lands. And he had a different name, forget what it was, but he was like a smith. He could make all kind of things, but he wasn't evil. He just kind of got really corrupted. So he's a Maya. So he's actually on the same level as Gandalf in hierarchy wise. But when he crafted the ring, it kind of gave him higher. It gave him superpowers basically, as far as a Maya is concerned.
He leveled up.
Yeah. So like even Gandalf, which is something else you'll see later on. Gandalf would have never went by himself to go confront Sauron because he was terrified of him because he knew he can't stop him. And before Gandalf came to Middle Earth, he was underneath Manwë, and his name was Olorin. And then when he came, he was Gandalf. He came with the other Ishtari, which we can get into them later. But he was terrible. One of the reasons he was reluctant to come to Middle Earth was because he was so afraid of Sauron. But eventually he came. They wanted him to be the White Wizard, but he was like, I don't want nothing to do with it. So they got Saruman to come. And then once all five of them were getting together, they finally convinced him to come. So he took a secondary role as Gandalf the Grey.
Crazy shit.
I'm sorry. We can get through the first 5 minutes of the movie now.
No, I appreciate the answer. I always kind of wondered like what Sauron's deal was, but it didn't get explained in the movies.
He's one of the ones that was just created by God.
God fucked up.
Yeah, like before there was even a Middle Earth, these people were created. And he was one of the creations.
Okay.
So what's the pecking order of the wizards?
The only really pecking order is just Saruman and Gandalf are pretty much at the top. Gandalf's up at the top because of he's one of the wisest ones. But since he didn't want to go, they had to pick like the next wisest. So it was like, Pikachu, I choose you, and they got Saruman. Then you have Radagast, which they don't really talk about much about him in the books, but Radagast is supposed to be in touch with nature. And then you have the two blue wizards. I forget their names, but they went to the east, and nobody ever heard from them again. So they existed. There were two blue wizards. God damn, it starts with a P. Their name starts with P. I can't remember. We'll call them Pedro and Paco. And they went to the east, and that was it.
I know they couldn't say their names in the movie because they didn't have the rights to the names.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because their names are mentioned, I guess, in the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the rights
to that.
They didn't have the rights to Silmarillion, so they couldn't actually say those characters' names, which is why Gandalf can't remember their names.
That makes sense.
So there's my little tidbit.
So yeah, I mean, as far as a pecking order, you don't have many people in the order. So the only ones you really know about are Saruman and Gandalf. Gandalf's definitely the more wise of the two.
Oh, there you go. So we jump to present day-ish, because this is still Bilbo telling a story. Thorin and company, they're continuing their trek to the Lonely Mountain. Bilbo's scouting around, and he sees this big bear creature following him. And he informs the group that it's there, and Gandalf is like, I think I know a place where we'll be safe. There's a cottage not far from here, so let's go there. So they make their way, and the bear starts bearing down on them. They run from it. They barricade themselves in the cottage, and this is where Gandalf informs them that the bear is the person who owns the cottage. It's Beorn, and he's a skin changer.
When he's explaining to the dwarves, he's like, I know a place we can go. He'll either help us or kill us. I was like, damn, 50-50 is not so good.
Yeah.
Roll them dice, I guess. What if he just fucking ate all of them? Movie over.
I would just be like, how about you just do some wizard shit and get rid of the fucking bear? How about that?
Nah, that's not Gandalf's style. I'm going to leave again.
Yeah, exactly. Which there is reason for that, too. The Ishtari, when they came to Middle-earth, they were meant as guides, not to...
Yeah, they're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Although Gandalf does a fair amount of doing.
Oh, he definitely does.
He do be doing.
Yes, there's a definite loophole in that situation. Yes. Him helping the riders of Rohan come down that fucking mountain at Helm's Deep. You were a part of that, dude.
He did it.
Yeah.
You helped get the trolls. You helped save them from the goblins.
Yeah. So that goes out the window.
So they're in Beorn's cottage, and he says, we're just gonna hang out here. That night, Beorn changes back into a man and comes in.
Sup, bros?
Yeah.
Y'all just gonna sleep on my floor and shit, huh?
Used up all my eyebrow wax.
I did think Beorn looked cool, though.
It was his back hair mohawk.
I think it was all cool. I thought it was all very cool.
He had a bit of that Mexican wolf boy thing going on, but he was
yeah. I mean, he's a skin changer. I liked it.
So that night, Azog gets summoned back to Dol Guldur by the necromancer, and he puts Bolg in charge. Bolg sucks.
Oh, like we said, they spent all the money on Azog, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we need to make Bolg too."
He's just a big stringy orc with metal ribs. And that's it.
He reminded me of not Return of the Living Dead 3. Whenever the zombie chick like starts like putting all the metal through herself and all that, you know what I'm talking about?
No, I never
That's
saw
what he
3.
reminded me of.
I do. Yeah, well, because he reminded me of that guy from Fist of the North Star who had to like hold his skull together with like rivets and shit so it didn't explode.
So they spend the night at Beorn's house, and they're woken up to big ass bees just flying all over the damn place. Beorn serves them a nice helping of moons over my hammy, and tells them all that, you know, you got orcs coming after you, but, you know, I don't particularly like dwarves either, because, you know, you jerks.
Yeah.
But orcs are worse jerks, so I guess I'll help you out. And by helping out, he just gives them some ponies. He doesn't, you know, turn into a bear and kill the orcs coming after him or anything helpful.
Yeah, but he does keep them out of his lands. I mean, they're too scared to go in there because they know they'd get wiped out.
Be grateful for your
dwarves do get a bad rap. People don't like them for some reason. I think they're the awesomest ones on Middle Earth, but
he says they're greedy, right?
Yeah.
And
then
so
they're greedy, and they don't value any lives that they deem lesser than theirs. Like that poor little meows.
Mm-hmm. And then Thorin goes on to prove him right.
Yeah. There you go.
Boom.
So they get a bunch of horses. They ride out to the edge of Mirkwood, and Gandalf finds some Nazgul tags on a rock. And Galadriel tells him psychically, go check out the Nazgul tombs. And he just dips out, and the dwarves are like, okay, there he goes again.
This was one of those times when I was watching the movie, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's not what... You're not supposed to go around there, and how the hell is she talking to you? But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say that Mirkwood infuriated me for like the nerdiest of reasons. Just because I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So like when they go into Mirkwood, I guess, well, I'll let you get further into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Gandalf leaves. He tells the dwarves, stay on the path, because this forest is whack. You don't want to go wandering off.
Ian McKellen being like, forest is whack.
And then he turned into a cat and said meow and disappeared away.
Yeah, and then he rides away. So this is when they go into the forest, and they eventually lose their way and start getting angry with each other.
Yeah, so that's what was bothering me. In the book, they just get lost in the forest because it's a dark forest and you can't see anything. But see, I laugh about it because I already know how it's going to sound when it comes out. Them like hallucinating and getting mad at each other and all, that's more first age Mirkwood, not third age Mirkwood.
Oh shit.
And where that would have happened would have been like maybe 3,000 miles north of where they were, and I don't know, over 5,000 years before that.
Because Mirkwood is where Dol Guldur is, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they're saying this is happening, is because...
Yeah, but like I said, it was more of a first age thing where you would hallucinate in Mirkwood.
Well, drop the ball there, Jackson.
Very much so.
Again, it's, I mean, I'm sure it's just for drama. If they're just getting
like
lost
I said,
or whatever.
For the nerdiest of reasons, it bothered me.
So they're all getting pissed at each other. Bilbo snaps out of it for a minute, and he climbs up a tree to get fresh air, and he spots the mountain. But down below, they're all ambushed by giant spiders and captured.
Mm-hmm.
Bilbo puts on the ring to disappear and finds that he can understand the spiders talking to each other.
Which is fucking awesome.
Which I liked how they did the talking spiders. They didn't just have the spiders talk for no goddamn reason at all.
But that's a real property of the ring, though.
Yeah.
Like in the books, that's one of the, like, you can, like, beings that are made out of pure evil, like the spiders, who are all spawns of Ungoliant, the first spider. You can understand them when you have the ring on, and that's fucking awesome that they did that.
So
Cool
he kills a bunch of the spiders, and one of them gives him the idea to name his sword Sting.
You stabbed that motherfucker in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. But he drops the ring, and it rolls over to this scrabbly bug thing, and the bugs just kind of buy it.
It's like a baby or something. It's like a baby bug.
And Bilbo decides to go psycho and just goes ham on this poor little bug baby. So he's already in the early the pupa stages of goleming.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, and this stuff was a kind of a problem for me because, like, again, it's that thing where it's like the ring having an effect on him doesn't matter at all in this trilogy. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, that's kind of... So it doesn't pay off. You only know that it's a problem because of... Assume you've watched Lord of the Rings, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like...
Too soon.
It's too soon to be doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it took... it was hundreds of years, right, for Gollum to turn into him.
Yes.
And even when Frodo had it, it was a while before he started just being a dick, let alone murdering things.
Right.
So
yeah, that was a little premature. Yes.
Yeah. The Wood Elves arrive with Legolas and Tauriel, a made-up character, and kill the rest of the spiders and capture the dwarves because they're trespassing. They take them back to their city, village thing, and...
But by the way, that is infinitely better than what the book did with them in the woods. Because in the book, they wandered around for, like, fucking weeks. And in the pitch dark, and they couldn't drink the water, and they're starving and everything, and at night, even though it was always pitch black no matter what, but they knew it was nighttime, they'd see elves have fires way out in the distance and can hear them singing and everything, but every time they'd get close, it would disappear. And that happened for weeks. So I'm cool with this.
So they take him back to Elf City and throw him in elf jail. They have Thorin have an audience with Thranduil, who offers his help to take back the mountain in exchange for the diamonds that are in the mountain, but Thorin tells him, kiss my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Throws him back in elf jail.
As he should.
You can't be messing with this sexy ass elf.
No,
let him have a diamond. Let him have a diamond, for God's sake.
So, this is where we have the dumbass subplot between Tauriel and Keeley.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to...
The beginning of it is, like, it's a rocky start, I gotta say. Like, how is this his line? Like, somebody Me Too this dude. Like, cancel Keeley. He tells her to, like, check his dick out, basically. And she's like, dwarf, please. I know you ain't got no dick. As all good romances, they all have a great story. Like this one.
So what do you think dwarves are packing, dick-wise?
I gotta assume it's, proportional. I mean, I think they probably aren't packing a big one.
I would say that it's kind of like one of those like a tuna can.
They all have chodes.
They're not
short and wide.
Not hitting the bottom, but they're fucking the sides up.
Blowing out the side walls.
That's just me. That's just what I think.
They probably have beards on them too.
Oh. I'm sure that I would assume very unkempt, probably some like knots of hair down there.
I don't know. I'm seeing
I don't know. They apparently don't even have to have beards on their faces. So,
well, yeah. Anyway, what would you think? Never mind. That's just too gross. I'm just going down a gross route here.
Anyway, Bilbo sneaks in. He's wearing the ring, frees the dwarves, and he sneaks them into the wine cellar. And he hides them all in empty barrels and dumps them in the river. Mm-hmm. And as they float down the river, here comes Bolg and his crew and shenanigans.
Yes, and I loved every bit of it.
I like most of it.
I liked it.
I liked, I don't know, some of it, I guess.
Because even though, like I said, yes, it strays from the book, because the only thing in common with the book at this point is they were in barrels.
Yes. They just kind of floating barrels down to Lake Town, and that's
after that, it's all lanyap after that, and I was happy with it.
I like Bomber's thing.
Yes.
That was John the worst part
previously said he hated that.
That long tracking shot where he's just bouncing around, Donkey Kong and everybody.
Yep.
I don't like it. Like, again, if this was more of a kids movie, I probably wouldn't have had a problem with it, but like the orcs are dangerous. Like the tone is not right for this kind of goofy shit to be happening. I just can't get behind a bunch of like accidentally beating all of the real threats. Like I don't like that. It bothers me.
He was the boulder in the Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That's all it was. They did a big whirly maneuver at the end.
Yeah. All I'm hearing is John's fat shaming a dwarf. Is all.
I didn't say anything about his size. I mean, I don't know. And again, like the fact that in the first movie, they were talking about how they're not even the best 13 dwarves. They're not even the best warriors or whatever. But like Bomber's busting his hands out of the sides of a barrel and swinging on like 13 orcs and getting away with it. Like, I don't know.
Well, maybe they knew that. Maybe they knew that going in. And it was like, well, we got to take fucking Bomber because all these other fucks ain't going to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, we got to take Bomber, but if we take him, we got to take his two useless fucking brothers.
Mm.
Okay, good. Because I've seen Bomber take out 50 orcs, no problem. So people were happy.
Give that motherfucker a barrel, unstoppable. Unfuckwiffable.
They wind up getting trapped in a gate, and Keeley has to jump out of his barrel to open it up, and he gets shot by a Morgul arrow and gets poisoned. But they get it open, and they all escape. Toriel and Legolas have to give up chasing the dwarves to put down the rest of the orcs, and Bolg escapes. They take an orc prisoner, they bring him back to Elf Town, and Thranduil questions him and learns that Sauron's back, which he probably knew too. Who fucking cares?
That I don't have any information for that,
So the dwarves meet up with Bard and his ship, and they bribe him to smuggle them into Lake Town. So he puts them in fish barrels and slips them inside the city, brings them to his house. Lake Town's ruled by the corrupt master, who's Stephen Fry in gross makeup. He doesn't like Bard because Bard's an old troublemaker. Bard gives the dwarves a bunch of crap weapons, as he promised them when they got there, and they don't like that. They want better, so they go to steal weapons from the armory. We learn that Bard's a descendant of, what's his name?
God damn it, if you wouldn't have put me on the spot. Starts with a G.
Guard.
Yes.
Guard.
I'm Bard, son of Guard. God damn it, what's his name? For some reason I want to say Gridiron, and I know that isn't. Fuck. I failed.
I don't know. Yeah. So he's the descendant of the asshole who failed to kill Smaug in the initial attack on Dale with his black arrows. But he loosened a scale. So they're all very proud of that for some reason.
It's kind of like Churchill saying, "Take one down with you," I guess. Like,
yeah. So, the dwarves get captured, breaking into the armory, and they're brought before the master, where Thorin reveals himself, and he makes a big speech, and he wins over the master because he thinks that the dwarves are going to open the riches of Erebor to Lake Town, and everybody's going to get rich. The next day, now outfitted in Lake Town's best gear, the dwarves are setting off to the mountain, but Thorin tells Keeley he has to stay behind because he's still sick, and he's just going to drag everybody down, and Feely's like, dude, what the hell? Like, we came all this way, and now you got to let him go? That you like step nephew or something?
No, they're just nephews.
Great
Thorin's sister.
grandnephew.
Thorin's sister is their mom.
Sure. So Feely says, well, if my brother ain't going, I'm not going. And he stays behind. Oin stays behind because he's both the doctor and useless. And Boffer stays behind because he overslept.
Boffer D's nuts.
Mainly because
I didn't like the townsfolk of Lake Town.
I didn't like anything that happened in Lake Town, pretty much.
Like, I didn't like the whole mayor thing. That was stupid.
Yep.
The people, like, and I guess it's because the way it was supposed to be is they all knew about the prophecy of the dwarves coming back and taking back the mountain. But in this, it was like they were shocked, like, there's a dwarf here. What's this going on? And I was like, oh, you're supposed to know about that already. So, I don't know. I just didn't like the whole Lake Town thing.
There are a lot of the characters in Lake Town seem like they'd fit well in like one of the villages in Holy Grail.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were like so comical it was kind of ridiculous at times. So
also, I had an issue with the black arrows. Like so the black arrow is supposed to be like this family relic that's been passed down, you know, but instead not like. They made up this dwarven bow, and that's just its custom ammo for it.
Yeah.
I thought that kind of cheapened it.
I guess they thought, like, what could be so special about one little arrow?
It's been passed down from grandpappy to pappy for many generations. That's
so it's an old-ass arrow?
Yep.
But what is it about those particular arrows that's good at taking out dragons?
Because they're strong.
Oh, okay.
I forget who made it. Somebody made it. Like, it's not like magical or anything. It's not like Wonder Woman's jet or anything.
Because you know, like did Smaug, like, he always had that little chink in the armor, correct?
Yeah, but it was discovered a different way and all that. And there's a thrush involved, and we're not going down that fucking rabbit hole right now.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in the animated one, it's just Bilbo, you know, talking about how magnificent he is, and he shows him his
chest.
His chest and the armor, and Bilbo notices that there's
that's
thing. What
it is, but
it was never loosened by some previous attack by some asshole.
No, not at all.
So really, he could have shot him with any old arrow.
These arrows are strong.
But these are strong. These go to 11.
Yeah, look, you don't want to shoot like a wooden arrow at a dragon.
It's a black arrow. I mean, there's no... You can't get any darker than black.
You can't.
Matte black.
It absorbs heat. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
The review for this arrow was only 2 words. Shit sandwich. We leave all of that and we go off with Gandalf on the other whole waste of time thing where he goes to the Nazgul Tomb and there's the 9 different floors with the 9 different cages and they're all blown open. He's like, oh, the Nazgul are loose. Radagast joins them and they go to Dol Guldur and they're going in and Gandalf tells Radagast, go warn Galadriel that shit's going down. I'm going in here. And Radagast is all, oh, it might be a trap. And Gandalf's like, yeah, it's definitely a trap. I'm going to go die. He goes in. He gets attacked by Azog and the army of orcs. Sauron appears and beats the hell out of Gandalf. And he gets imprisoned, and they watch the orc army march off to the Lonely Mountain.
Yeah, Gandalf would have never done that. He was terrified of Sauron. Oh. So that, but I get they had to get them there and all. Like, I know it's a movie, they got to get them there and all. But it would be uncharacteristic of Gandalf to do something so stupid.
Well,
why would they throw him in a cage? Like they did this in Lord of the Rings too. Like, why would Sauron throw him? Just put him on top of a tower. He's gonna figure. He's a goddamn wizard. He's gonna get out of there.
He hasn't sprayed for bird summoning moths in weeks. That's just classic bad guy-itis. Yeah. I'm not just gonna kill my adversary. I'm going to imprison them and hope everything goes according to plan.
Yes. I'm going to put him here so you know where he's at while we go check on what else is going on in the movie.
Yeah. That works. So we go back to the dwarves, and they arrive at the spot on the mountain where the keyhole should be. They climb up the statues and find the spot.
I can't believe this, though. Like... They're looking around everywhere, and then Bilbo's like, "Oh, look over here! It's a giant fucking statue." And Thorin's like, "Keen eyes, bro." He's like, "Keen eyes."
This statue has stairs built into it. Clever hobbits.
You know, I lived here for hundreds of years, but never noticed that.
This must be a new gigantic statue.
It's like finding out your house has a bathroom you didn't know about.
You only go to these places when people visit. You never go whenever it's just you here.
So they find the spot. They're trying to find the keyhole. They can't find it. The sun's setting. They're freaking out. So they start just trying to bash a hole in the solid rock to get in, and that's useless. The sun sets, and so they all think, well, we fucked it up, didn't we? And start going back down the mountain, back to their sad lives.
Let's just get out of here.
Thorn's like, he's gonna just yeet this fucking key off the side of the mountain.
So, I mean, worst case scenario, they wait a year.
And I'm not 100%. Like, this is something I have to claim ignorance on. I don't think it was that way in the book that they had to be there on a certain day. It may have been, but that seems kind of silly because, like, they showed up in Rivendell on the exact night that they could read the map, and then they went through all that shit and just happened to be there on the day that they could open it.
Well, they knew when did they find out they had to be there on Durin's Day? Was it before they read the moon runes or after?
No, it was. I think the moon runes said that. I think you're right. You might be right. Yes, you are.
Yeah,
right.
they found out they had to be there on Durin's Day, and then Balin was like, "That's 3 days away," so they knew they had this time limit now.
That's next Tuesday.
That was last week. Shit. Well, we can take our time now.
Slap the piss out of Oin for leaving late.
What if Durin's Day is like a leap year day? Now you're really fucked.
Oh, damn.
Now you're screwed.
But yeah, I can't believe he just like drops the key.
Yeah. It's over. Fuck it. I'm gonna go back to making toys. So they all start to leave, but Bilbo doesn't want to give up. He's still there. And they figured out the last light of Durin's Day is actually the moon. And it shines a light, and it makes the keyhole, and he yells out, "Come back, idiots!" And they all come back, and they pick up the key that luckily was right there and not, chucked.
I can't.
They open it up.
Bilbo doesn't really do anything or figure anything out. He just didn't.
He just waits.
He just waited a few more minutes.
So they put the key in. It opens up. Hooray! They're back inside Erebor. And now Balin's like, all right, Bilbo. Time for you to do your job.
Yeah. Get your little ass in there.
So takes him down to the entrance of the Gold Horde, gives him a little pep talk, and then just bounces.
Yeah,
I'm not going to wait at the door and give you moral support. No. This is your part. Go.
Hey, he signed the contract.
So Bilbo goes down into this endless hoard of treasure to find one baseball-sized jewel.
I mean, look, I'm no money scientist, but that's a lot of gold.
Yeah.
Scrooge McDuck could do laps in there.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what to do with that.
He would drown.
So
I saw some nerd actually try to figure out Smaug's net worth when he had the gold.
Net worth.
Yep. Because they're
His
talking
portfolio.
about who had the highest net worth of
some
fictional
nerd,
characters.
a.k.a. probably Blake.
I'm gonna pull it up for you right now.
Smaug's all in on Dogecoin, dog.
Yeah, estimated $54 billion. Smaug the Dragon is the second richest fictional character in history, according to Forbes.
Who's number one?
Let's find out who number one is.
Scrooge McDuck.
No, I thought Smaug was number one, but maybe he's been passed up. I bet you, you know what? I bet you, without even looking, I can tell you it's probably going to be Black Panther. All that vibranium, yo.
Yeah.
Keep talking, I'll look at it.
So he starts searching around by just kind of like aimlessly wandering around the gold piles. And he accidentally slips, some of the gold slips away and uncovers Smaug's eye. Oh, there he is. Smaug starts to wake up because something, he hears Bilbo rustling around. Bilbo puts the ring on and hides. Smaug and Bilbo have this big long exchange. They're talking to each other, and Smaug's trying to figure out who he is and where he's from because he doesn't recognize his smell. And at first, Smaug's kind of like, he's happy to have somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
For a little bit.
Damn, just a little conversation.
This was like awesome though.
I did like this part. This part.
Cumberbatch, he did a good job.
He did a real good job.
What did dragons not have to eat or something?
They eat gold.
Do they?
That's a good question that I do not have the answer for. I assume they have to eat.
I mean, like, I don't know. I just like Tolkien.
Or maybe they hibernate like a bear,
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he was just sleeping under it.
People don't even know if he's alive anymore, right? He's just been hasn't been seen for decades.
Well, once they sit on a hoard, they're there. But then you're right. What are they eating?
Treasure. That's all that's in there. Or they're just sustained by being
I'm just doing a bunch of
gold.
I'm gonna do a bunch of research tonight. By the way, the number 1 and number 2 spot is a highly contentious debate between two factions of nerds, actually.
Oh. My favorite kind of debate.
Yeah, I think that we'll all be on the right side of history by siding with Smaug, because the other one is that head vampire in the Cullen tribe from Twilight.
What?
Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck that guy. Ain't no way he's got more money than Smaug.
No. So, exactly. We're going with Smaug's number 1.
It's Smaug. That twinkly bastard.
Yeah, fuck that. At least we all can agree on something.
So, meanwhile, back at Lake Town, Bard can hear the rumblings of Smaug as he's starting to stir up. So he's getting worried. So he reaches up in his kitchen and he knocks all his pots and pans down because he's been using the last black arrow as a rack to keep his pans on. So we got to get this black arrow up to the crossbow up on the tower. And as he's trying to do that, he gets captured and arrested by the Master's Men. At this point, Bolg arrives. We all missed him. with a small clan of orcs, and they attack. But Legolas and Toriel arrive, and they save Bard's kids, and a big uproar in there. They run off.
I mean, again, they really undercut the danger posed by orcs by having there's 10 of them in Bard's house, and they can't kill a single one of these little girls. They're getting absolutely bodied by plates and shit.
Right. Yeah, it's like whenever they're in Balin's tomb and Sam's fighting off orcs with a frying pan.
Yeah, just getting clowned on.
Yeah. They're henchmen from the Kevin Sorbo Hercules. They just kind of wave around in the background until they get around to punching them. So, that all had Toriel and Legolas kill all the orcs except for Bolg, who runs off. Legolas goes after him, and he calls out for Toriel to follow him, but she just can't because she sees that Keely's dying from the Morgul poison, and he tells her that he's in love with her, and she's just got to stay and save him. She wants that tuna can.
She got to find out whether or not there's anything in those pants.
You go on, Legolas, with your needle dick. I'm staying with this girthy bastard.
Going back to that original scene, though, when they first meet, I thought it'd be hilarious if after he said, I could have anything down my trousers, and she leaves, and he pulls out this, giant file, starts cutting through it out of his pants.
Yeah, that would have been infinitely better.
That would have saved the scene for me.
Or even just something to eat would have been nice.
Yeah.
Like a big loaf of bread, and they just started eating.
So, back at the mountain, Smaug finally figures out that Bilbo's allied with Thorin and the dwarves and the men of Lake Town. And as he's trying to get Bilbo, he finally corners him, and he spots him, and the Arkenstone's revealed. It rolls out from a pile. And Smaug sees it, and he says that, he's tempted to just let Bilbo take it because he knows that it's going to corrupt Thorin and drive him insane, just like his grandfather. But Smaug decides not to. I'm just going to kill you. And then the dwarves all spring into action to save Bilbo, and they lead Smaug on this merry chase through Erebor, and I can only liken it to the hallway scene in every episode of Scooby-Doo. They're just darting back and forth across these bridges, and Smaug just can't catch up to them, and then they're chasing Smaug, and then he's chasing them. It's a song from the Monkees in the background.
Smaug's falling for everything. I mean, if a group of them, if you're chasing one group and another group is like, hey, idiot, over here, don't chase them. Stay on. You're just falling for all of it, dude.
He's all angry now. He's flustered. So they need to get the forge lit. So they trick Smaug into breathing fire at him, and they hide, and it lights the forge, and Bomber sits on the big bellows because he's the big fat dwarf, so he makes it work. Lights the forge, which melts a gigantic pot of gold that was just left there for this project that they never got to finish.
Well, they couldn't pick up their tools while the dragon was attacking.
So, in the main grand hall, I guess there's a big mold that all the gold pours in, and they lead Smaug into there. And Thorin's up on the mold, and he's taunting him, and Smaug comes up, and Thorin hits a thing, and the mold falls apart, and it's a big solid gold statue of Thror. And Smaug's just enchanted by it because it's just so much gold. When he was just in infinitely more gold earlier. So
it's dragon sickness, damn it.
Yeah. So he's staring at it, but the metal hasn't had time to cure yet, so it starts bursting, and it melts and collapses, and it's just a big wave of molten gold engulfs Smaug, and he disappears. Which this hall didn't look deep enough.
Yeah, I'll give you that
for this to happen.
but it was a pretty cool. I thought it looked awesome, but yeah, it wouldn't have submerged them.
Yeah,
I feel like the entire plan is highly unlikely.
So, Smaug appears to be drowned. They all think that they've defeated him. When he erupts from the gold, and he's all golden now, and he's pissed at this point.
You'd think he'd be like, "Oh, sweet,
I'm gold now. Damn." Well, no, he's just like, "God damn you friggin' dwarves. Those smelly-ass men of Lake Town helped you. I'm going to go fuck them up." So he bursts out of Erebor. He does a little twirly move, and he shakes all the gold off of him.
He does like an 89 Batman thing and like goes up to the moon and makes the bat signal and shakes all the gold off of him.
He loses his razzle dazzle.
Yes, fucking Mongolian.
He beelines for Lake Town. Bilbo scrambles out of Erebor and watches as Smaug descends on Lake Town. He's just, oh damn! And then the movie ends. To be continued. For a movie titled "The Desolation of Smaug," he didn't do much desolating.
Yeah, he barely desolated anything.
So, a couple of things. One, I'm glad that we got through that movie way quicker than I thought we were going to.
We're keeping this to a tight hour.
Yeah. Well, let me start blowing that out the fucking
God.
way. So, in my quick research, dragons, though it's not explicitly stated in the books, dragons may not have to eat for the same reason that elves don't have to eat, which is just that they're immortal until they get stabbed and then they die. Like, you can't starve an elf to death.
They can't die of natural causes.
Yeah, well, the only thing an elf can die of, which this also takes points away from elves and why dwarves are better. So, like, obviously if they get stabbed or shot with an arrow or something, they're going to die. But also extreme grief kills them. So, that's the point away from them. Like, if they just get too sad, they're gonna fucking die.
Isn't that why Padme died?
And they get, I mean, obviously they use that for romantic purposes. You know, like after Aragorn dies, Arwen goes to the same little field where they met, and she lays there and dies. But, you know.
Okay. So, I mean, but like if he, so you can't, will he be hungry? It doesn't really answer the question.
Also, this is something else you got to realize too. A dragon isn't a natural being that occurs in Middle Earth.
No, he be cheese.
Yes, he be Jesus. Fuck. Oh, you're gonna have to play that fucking Mexican jumping music now until I get my composure. Oh shit! Where was I gonna say now? God damn it!
I have no idea. Oh, he's like an alien or something.
Okay, so they're not just natural like fauna of Middle Earth. He was created by Morgoth, so he's an evil creation, just like a Balrog. Well, actually, he's descended of like there's a whole bunch of dragons that were created, and the first ones couldn't fly and all that. They were just like normal
dinosaurs.
Dragons, and yeah. I would go through the names, but it's one of those. I'm probably not saying it right because as I've read it, I thought Smaug, but like the first one's like Glaurang or something like that, and then they all kind of sprang after that.
Okay, are there a lot of dragons left in Middle Earth, or is it just
no? I think Smaug's actually the last one.
Damn, R.I.P.
There wasn't many, but I know the first one was Glaurang or Glaurong or something like that. And he was in Turin killed him? No, Hurin killed him. Turin. Yeah, Turin killed him. Laid in a ditch and waited for him to walk over him and stabbed him through the gut and fucking got lava on him too, and he fucking died. Badass.
Worth it.
What about them dragons the Nazgul ride?
Look, those are just fell beasts. Duh. Jesus.
Dragon to me.
Just fell beast, dude. You see them shits like dragging pizza through the subway.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck's your problem?
So,
anyway, if anybody wanted some extra reading, you can read Children of Huron, and you'll see all about that other dragon. It's a fantastic story of good trying to overcome evil, and it doesn't really work out. And there's incest involved.
oh, bonus.
So, there you go.
Hell yeah.
Really, it's a really good. It's kind of like the Empire Strikes Back of Tolkien like stuff, because it doesn't end on a good note.
Is that in the Unfinished Tales, or is that a separate book? Or
it was. So you get the gist of the story from the Silmarillion, and then they eventually published Children of Huron on its own, and you got more detailed how it was. But it's a fucked up story, I'll tell you that. It's like it's not Hobbit at all. It's real fucked up.
Nice.
So there's my glowing recommendation of Children of Huron.
I think watching this movie, I think I realized why I don't like Dwalin's design. And it's because he looks just like Jesse Ventura.
Oh God! Now I don't like him.
See it now. I'm never gonna be able to not see it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Once I saw it, I was like, kind of snickering every time he was on screen.
Put a stupid hat and a minigun on him, and there you go.
I'm gonna bash this goddamn door down.
Goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Couple of compliments for the movie, though. I'll say the art department really they improved on their spider web. Whatever. Mm-hmm. I thought the spider webs in this movie were like better than the ones in which one is that? Is it Two Towers?
That would have been
Shelob.
Shelob with Duplicator's Return of the King.
Oh, okay.
Technically, it was Two Towers in the books, but
yeah,
they pushed her to.
They get to Shelob's cave, I think, at the end of Two Towers, if I'm correct. I don't know.
I think all of Shelob plays out in Two Towers.
It may. I think you're right. It might.
Because I remember being disappointed because I was ready for the giant spider and it ended. I was like, oh, come on.
Well, the problem is, look, I watch all those movies like as one movie, so I couldn't tell you where one ends and one begins. Just the extended editions are on a constant background in my house, so who knows.
Why was Tolkien so down on spiders, man? Doesn't he realize how important they are?
They are. So, do you really want me to go into? So
without spiders, he also had stung by mosquitoes all the time.
He also had troubles discerning between a spider and a scorpion.
True, but aren't they both arachnids?
They are, but spiders don't have stingers.
Well, these are different. These aren't like normal spiders.
Well, no,
so
they talk.
We will have to go into it. So the first big giant spider was Ungoliant, and Ungoliant was basically just a spider of darkness. And when Melkor, who had already come to Middle-earth and fuck things up, and they decided, well, we're going to bring you back to Valinor, and we're just going to keep you here and reform you. Dumb fucking move. He started corrupting people there, and he eventually teamed up with Ungoliant. And that thing ate light. So there was these two trees that provided light to the whole planet, and it basically ate the fucking trees and stole the light from it. And then Ungoliant and Morgoth skedaddled out of Valinor and went back to the north. So Ungoliant had a bunch of spider babies, and Shelob is one of them.
There you go.
Yeah. Also, while I did like the DMs of like praising me for actually being smart and not dog shit like John said, if I'm wrong, please let me know if I'm wrong, because I love to hear those conversations. I'll get into conversations about Lord of the Rings anytime. So if I'm wrong, let me know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna check you on this stuff.
Well, I'm not talking. I'm talking about the other people, because Lord knows you can't check me on shit. according to last episode.
I was technically right.
I think
I guess
I
you
was
were technically right. But not in a way that mattered.
Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Yeah. That was the worst, well, actually, I've ever come across.
I still stand by all of it.
Well, I guess that's why you think I'm dog shit. And I don't even deserve to be here.
Wow.
They should have got rid of Blake on episode 3.
Man, using my exact words against me.
Oh, if I wouldn't have come around in season 2 and cleaned this fucking place up, we wouldn't have gained the extra 5 fucking viewers.
What if there was a scandal where you guys like found recordings of me talking shit?
Yeah. I show up there and I give them the razzle dazzle with my $5 words and cinematography jargon. These dudes don't even know what the fuck hit them.
Podcast didn't even have an ounce of credibility before I came along.
Yes.
It was almost derailed episode 2.
By the villain of the show.
Why would it... Wait, what happened on episode 2? There's been plenty of episode 2s. What are we talking about?
The first episode 2.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the highest rated episode we have? Is that the one you're talking about? Thank you.
No. There's no way. Go with LaFleur.
That one? Oh.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about Swamp Ape.
No, that was season 2, episode 2.
Why y'all bringing up old shit? I'm sorry. I thought that was hilarious.
But you can't have... It's hard to have a podcast about a movie with only one person who watched the movie.
Thank you. That was all just for me. Oh my god. I know, it's selfish and it was wrong. And it did nothing for the podcast. But the joy I would get after talking to Chase when he was trying to go through that movie, I'd hang up the phone and I'd fucking laugh and laugh.
I could see some value in Chase trying to explain this movie and you just being over there like, what? No shit. That's what happened?
He was like, I can't watch this thing all at once. I was like, I know, man, it's hard.
All those questions were from the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
God.
Every time I'd hang up the phone, I'd say, he be cheese.
That movie's in my brain now, and it's not fair.
Well, I enjoyed it.
Our highest rated episode is still Glimmerman. Holding strong.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't figure out the reason for such a thing.
I don't know. People, if you want to get your friends into this podcast, I guess make them listen to Glimmerman.
Well, look, there's episodes that we did where like I had an extreme amount of fun, but that wasn't one of them.
I mean, it's a solid episode, but
no, I'm not saying it's a bad episode. Like I know, like the episodes when we really have a lot of fun, like those are the real good ones. That one wasn't like particularly like out the box fun for me. Like Desert Heat was a fucking blast to talk about. Buffalo Rider was a fucking blast. Glimmerman was an episode, you know.
One of my new favorites is the Wonder Woman episode we did.
That was a blast. We had fun with that one. And I guess once again, going back to selfish, I'm having fun with these because I'm like getting to let my nerd flag fly, I guess. It's like the one thing I give a shit about in life that I'm knowledgeable on.
Well,
any corrections from last week, John? Anything you need to point out?
I haven't checked. I can't do a correction each week. We're usually on point.
Okay.
We're usually flawless.
Well, I mean,
like that.
Honestly, like usually we don't need to be corrected. I don't know if we're just speaking generally enough. As long as we don't get too specific, I don't have to correct anything.
Also, as long as we're self-auditing, I think we're fine.
Yeah. Dragons eat treasure. Fact. Or cheese. One of the two.
By the way, nobody will ever find out what that means. That's just going to be a mystery of the podcast. Deal with it.
It's got something to do with SpongeBob.
It does, but we're not getting into it. We got to have something for ourselves.
Oh my god!
Anyway,
it's just for Blake and Chase. Like I barely know what they're talking about. They had some inside joke going before we even started recording, so I'm not in on it either.
So, audience, John's your everyman who you relate to.
Yeah. I'm the audience surrogate.
I'm a click on social media tomorrow, and John's gonna be like, "This dog shit motherfucker's on there talking about cheese."
Yeah, if you aren't following,
I wonder why this thing sucks.
If you aren't following the podcast on Twitter, it's just me shit talking the other two guys. Like I don't even think they look at it. So
I haven't looked at Twitter in years.
Yeah, I'm just trashing. I trash talk them all the time.
Well, then looks like I'm gonna have to get back on Twitter. Defend myself from this shit.
Oh man.
It's John and all his little made up friends.
Okay, that's Desolation of Smaug. We got one more to go, and we could put The Hobbit to bed.
And when are we gonna watch Lord of the Rings?
Never.
Damn.
There's no contention there. Like
we all
great.
agree Lord of the Rings is fantastic.
I think it's terrible. That movie sucks.
Now, special's over. We're going to do 3 one-offs, and then we'll do another special. We'll figure out another series or something to do.
All right.
Yeah.
So, next up, Battle of the Five Armies. The final scene of a movie that they stretched out to be 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Super Mario physics, Mongolian death worms.
Yes.
Yeah, I will say that this one's rough because it's almost entirely filler.
And more headbutts than you can possibly imagine.
My daughter is convinced that me and her should greet each other with a headbutt like the fucking dwarves, and I'm like, no. We're not doing that. She wants to so bad. It's because she's never been headbutted before. It may be worth the visit from social services just to show her one. You see, I told you.
No, why you crying? You asked for this.
Yeah, I gave you what you wanted. You wanted a headbutt. It'd probably be the other way around. I'd probably be the heap on the floor. Why'd you hit me so hard? Anyway, I'm trying to say I don't have any other notes of things that we need to deep dive into for this. I'm proud of us. For the next one, I got a lot of deep dive stuff. So, sorry. Luckily, not much happens in that movie, so we should get through it pretty quick.
It's a lot of standing around, and then a big fight, and then it ends.
And then a bunch more fights.
Yeah. It's a lot of waiting on a fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It's all good. Battle of the Five Armies, next time on part 3 of the Hobbit Trilogy. We'll see you then. Thank you for listening to Garbage Theater. As always, you can find us online at facebook.com/Garbage Theater, on Twitter at Garbage_Theater, and on Instagram at Garbage_Theater. If you'd care to leave us a review on iTunes, we would very much appreciate it. And if you have a movie suggestion or just want to reach out to us, you can contact us at any of our social channels or email us directly at garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest episodes and happenings. Good night, and see you next time, folks.